In today's lesson, we'll study about chapter number 13 on probability. In earlier classes, we have studied the probability as a measure of uncertainty of events in a random experiment. In this chapter, we shall discuss the important concept of conditional probability of an event given that another event has occurred, which will help in understanding the other concepts like Bayes theorem, multiplication rule of probability, and independence of events. We have discussed only the concepts which are as per the reduced syllabus of 2021. This chapter will have a total of 11 marks of 1 mark question, 1 number, and 1 number of 2 marks question, and 1 number of 3 marks question, and 1 number of 5 marks questions. So let us start. We'll start with the revision of what we had studied in our earlier classes. Quickly we will go through. Point number 1. Random. An experiment whose outcome cannot be predicted is an random experiment. Point number 2. Trial. Performing a random experiment is called a trial. Example, tossing of a coin or throwing of a dice. Point number 3. Outcome. The result of a random experiment is the outcome. Like getting a head or getting a tail, or outcome of a dice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. Sample space. The set of all possible outcomes of a random experiment is called the sample space. That is, say for example, tossing of a coin, the sample space is head and tail. And in a dice experiment, the outcome may be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is the sample space. It is denoted by S. Event. Simple or elementary. Any possible outcome or combination of outcomes of events are denoted by capital letters A, B, C, D. Getting a head A is within brackets H, or getting a tail is B, B within flower brackets capital T. Getting a number, even number like A flower brackets 2, 4, 6, or getting a prime number B within flower bracket 2, 3, 5. Probability. Probability, let us define probability now. Probability is a ratio of the number of elementary events n of E favorable to the event to the total number of elementary events in the sample space. It is represented by capital letter within brackets E, where E is the expected experiment result. P of E is equal to n of within brackets capital E divided by n of capital S, where n of E is the elementary event favorable to the event and S is the sample space. Sure or certain event occurs when any one of its elements will surely occur. Probability of a sure event is 1. That is when the event the outcome is sure and certain, then the probability is 1. Impossible event. An impossible event where an event which will not occur on any account, probability of an impossible event is 0. Say for example, in a dice experiment, expecting a number 7 when a dice is thrown is impossible to get because the maximum number is 6 only. So sure event is getting any one between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a sure event, but getting 7 is impossible event. Compound events. The events obtained by combining two or more elementary events associated to the random experiments are called compound event. That is example, tossing of two coins simultaneously. So when we toss two coins at a time, then it is a compound event. Like sure, a sample space of a compound event may be is equal to example within flower brackets getting head in one coin, head in another second coin, or getting head in one coin and tail in the second coin, and getting tail in the first coin and getting head in the second coin, or getting tail in both the coins. These are compound events. Point number 10. Complementary events. Consider two events E1 and E2. When event E2 is not same as E1, then E1 and E2 are called complementary events. Say for example, E1 is not equal to E2 or E2 is equal to E1 bar. That is not of E1. So E1 union E2 is equal to space. So probability of E plus probability of E bar is equal to 1. Example, throw a dice once. So E1 may be 2, 4, 6 and E2 can be 1, 3, 5. That is, if you see the even numbers are missing in E2. So that you can call it as E1 bar. Mutually exclusive events. Two or more events are said to be mutually exclusive if the occurrence of one event prevents or excludes the occurrence of the other. So for example, E1 union E2 is not equal to S. Say for example, probability of E1 plus E2 plus E3 plus etc. up to E1 is equal to probability of independent occurrence, probability of E1 plus probability of E2 plus up to P to the P probability of En. That is equal to S is equal to, say for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. E1 can be 1 and 2 and E2 can be 5 and 6. Conditional probability. This is the first section of this year's syllabus on chapter number 13, that is probability. In order to understand the concepts of conditional probability, we will start our discussions with an example. Consider the experiment of tossing three fair coins. Please note, tossing three fair coins together. So three coins together, and the sample space of three coins is S of H, H, H. That is, first coin can be head, second coin can be head, and third coin can be head. Or the first coin can be head, and second coin can be head, and the third coin can be tail. Or the possible outcome is the sample space is HTH, HTT, THH, THT, TTH, comma, TTT. If you count the number of possible outcomes, it is 8. So therefore the number of sample spaces, so 8. That can also be expressed as each coin has two possible outcomes, head or tail. So it can be, and there are three coins, it can be written as 2 cube, that is equal to 8. Now, so the probability of any one sample event is, we can assign the probability of each sample to be 1 by 8. So out of 8, the probability can be 1 of 8. Let E be the event of, now we are interested in getting at least two heads. Is at least we are interested in getting at least two heads appear, and the second also is the first coin should show tail. That is, the first outcome should be tail. So let us assign these interested outcomes as E be the event of getting at least two heads, and F be the first coin which shows tail. First coin, note here, first coin. So now two heads, so E is the associated with two heads. So then E will be equal to, there are three heads here. So we are at least head means minimum of two heads should be there. So outcome is HHH, and two heads are also here, HHT, And here also there are two heads, HTH, there are two heads, and THH. So all these outcomes of event E are having two heads, at least two heads. And there is another event F of which is associated with first coin shows tail. That means the first coin of the three should be a tail. So if you observe the sample space, only the first coin with the tail is here T, THH, THT, TTH and TTT. So there are four possible outcomes. So F is equal to THH, THT, TTH and TTT with first coin as tail. So now we have defined E and events E and F from the sample space S. Now we will take probability of E. Probability of E is probability of, open the bracket and flower bracket, HHH plus probability of HHT plus probability of HTH plus probability of THH, that is event E, probability of E, this line we are taking. So probability of each event we know is 1 by 8. Therefore, P of HHH is 1 by 8, 1 by 8, 1 by 8 and 1 by 8. So that is 1 by 8, 1 by 8, 1 by 8. That becomes, if you add, it becomes 1 by 2. Now similarly, we will take the probability of event F. So F is the sample space of F is, it has got 4 elements. So probability of F is P of F is equal to P of THH plus probability of THT plus probability of TTH plus probability of TTT. So that becomes 1 by 8 plus 1 by 8 plus 1 by 8 plus 1 by 8, 4 times. It is also 1, 2, 3, 4. It has got also 4 times. So its probability is also 1 by 2. Therefore, now we have to find E intersection F, which is common to both E and F. That is E intersection F. That is equal to, if you see, observe here, what is common? HHH is not there in this. HHT is not there in P of F. And HTH is also not there in P of F. Only P of THH is present in both probability of E and probability of F. Therefore, E intersection F is within brackets THH. So, and if you take probability of this, it is P intersection F is equal to 1 by 8. Now, suppose we are given first coin shows tail and F occurs, then what is the probability? Suppose the first coin occurs F. What is the probability of occurrence of E? This information reduces our sample space from S, that is sample space of 8, to sample space of F, that is F is 4. From S to its subset F for the event E. Now the sample point of F which is favorable to E is THH. Therefore, the probability of E considering F as the sample space is 1 by 4. So, if you take F, it is the probability of F is 1 by 4. Therefore, probability of E given that F has occurred is 1 by 4. The probability of event E is called conditional probability. Here, this is the conditional probability of event E getting 2 head given that F has already occurred. F has already occurred means the first coin has tail. So it has already occurred. It is represented by P of E, conditional probability of E given that F has occurred. It is written as P, open the small bracket, E, a vertical line or an inclined line of F. This is the representation. So the conditional property of an event E, given that F has occurred, is we will define as P of conditional probability of E given F has occurred is equal to probability of E intersection F divided by probability of F. See, please note here in the denominator is same as this here after the vertical line. So F is here and F is in the denominator. Provided P of F, the numerator should not be 0. This can also be written in the other way, that is reversing this. P of conditional probability of F given that E has occurred is equal to P of E intersection F divided by probability of E. E is at the bottom here. Okay. E is at the bottom, provided P is not 0. Therefore, note that the elements of F which favor the events E are common elements of E and F. That is, probability of E intersection F is common for both. So, it is in the numerator. That is the sample point of E cross E intersection F. Thus, we can also write the conditional probability of E given that F has occurred as P conditional probability of E that F has occurred equals N times E intersection F divided by N of F. That is equal to, this is given by N of E intersection S divided by N of S divided by N of S by Ns. That is equal to conditional probability of E given F has occurred is equal to probability of E intersection F divided by P of F. This is the definition of conditional probability. So this is valid only if F should not be 0. The event F should not be a null probability. Okay, null probability. That is, F should not be 0. Definition 1. Definition 1. If E and F are two events associated with sample space of random experiment, the conditional probability of event E given that F has occurred is P conditional probability of E given F has occurred is given by conditional probability P of E of F equals P of probability of E intersection F divided by probability of F provided PF is not 0. Properties of a conditional probability. Consider a sample space here. Then the property number 1 states that the conditional probability of S when F has already occurred is given by conditional probability of F when F has already occurred is equal to 1. This is the property number 1. By definition, we know that conditional probability of S given F has already occurred equals probability of S intersection F divided by probability of F. That is equal to, we know probability of S intersection F is probability of F itself because F is a an event of sample space S. Hence, probability of S intersection F is equal to probability of F, and denominator is written as it is probability of S. P of F divided by P of F equals 1. Also, conditional probability of F, given that F has already occurred, equals probability of, by definition, probability of F intersection F divided by probability of F. That is equal to F intersection F is F itself. Therefore, probability of F divided by probability of F equals 1. Hence, we have proved that conditional probability of S given event F has occurred equals conditional probability of F upon F equals 1. Property number 2. If A and B are two events of sample space S and F is an event of S such that probability of F is not equal to 0, then conditional probability of A union B upon F equals conditional probability of A upon F plus conditional probability of B upon F minus conditional probability of A intersection B upon F. I am using term upon F to avoid a lengthy description of given that event F has occurred. We can use either upon or we can use given that F has occurred. In particular, special case, if A and B are disjoint events, then probability of A union B upon F is equal to probability of A upon F plus conditional probability of B upon F. We have conditional probability of A union B upon F is equal to, by definition, probability of A union B intersection F divided by probability of F by definition of conditional probability. That is equal to probability of rearranging probability of A intersection F union B intersection F divided by P of F. By using the distributive law of sets over intersection, we can rewrite this as probability of A intersection F plus B intersection F minus probability of A intersection B intersection F divided by denominator as it is. Therefore, rearranging or bifurcating the sums in the numerator, we can rewrite that as probability of A intersection F divided by denominator P of F plus probability of B intersection F divided by PF minus probability of A intersection B intersection F divided by probability of F. So, if you see, these are nothing but the terms, three terms are nothing but definitions of the conditional probability. That is equal to probability of A upon F, conditional probability of A upon F plus conditional probability of B upon F minus conditional probability of A intersection B upon F. where F is the event, given event which has already occurred. When A and B are disjoint events, then we can rewrite it as conditional probability of A intersection B upon F equals 0. Hence, that becomes probability of conditional probability of A union B upon F is equal to, that is this is the left hand side, is equal to right hand side, that is conditional probability of A upon F plus conditional probability of B upon F, given that F has, where F is the event that has already occurred. Property number 3. Conditional probability of E dash upon F is equal to 1 minus conditional probability of E upon F. From property number 1, we know that conditional property of S upon F equals 1. Therefore, conditional property of E union E dash, that is E dash is the complement of E, upon F equals 1. Since S is nothing but E union E dash, that becomes probability of conditional probability of E upon F plus conditional probability of E dash upon F equals 1, since E and F are disjoint events. Thus, conditional probability of E dash upon F is equal to 1 minus probability, conditional probability of E upon F. That is, the left side is complementary and the right hand side term is as it is. E, event E. E dash is complement of event E. Let us take up some example to understand the properties. Question number 1. If P of A, probability of A equals 7 by 3 and probability of B, event B is 9 by 3, and probability of A intersection B is equal to 4 by 13, evaluate probability of A given that B has occurred. So we know from formula P of A given B has occurred is given by equals probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B. That is, it is given P A intersection B is 4 by 13 divided by probability of B is 9 by 13. So 13 gets cancelled. Answer is 4 by 9. Question number 2. A family has 2 children. What is the probability that both the children are boys, given that at least one of them is a boy? So 2 children are there, that both the children, what is the probability? Both are given that one of them is a boy. It is only given that only one is boy, but the family has 2 children. We have to find what is the probability, what are the chances that both the children are boys. So let B stand for boy and G stand for girl. The sample space is given by the outcome, possible outcome is, yes, sample space is equal to, within floor brackets, both can be boys, BB, and one can be girl and one can be boy, GB. And first, the one can be boy and second can be girl. And the last one is GG, that is both can be girls. These are the possibilities. Other than this, there is no other outcome possible. So let E be both the boys and F be at least one is a boy. So let us find out E. E is, you see both boys is only one. E is equal to, within flow bracket BB, and F is equal to, that is at least one child is boy. So one child is boy is BB, GB and BG. So three are there. Three outcomes are there. the last outcome is not possible because at least one should be a boy. Therefore, E intersection F is BB. So both common which is occurring both in E and F, E intersection is BB. Therefore, probability of F is equal to probability of F is 3. 3 divided by total is here 4. 3 by 4. That sample space is S. So N of F is 3. N of S is 4. Therefore, it is 3 by 4. And probability of E intersection F is, this is 1 out of 4. 1 out of 4. Therefore, probability of E given that F has occurred is probability of E intersection F divided by P of F, that is equal to 1 by 4 divided by 3 by 4, that is equal to 4 gets cancelled, it is 1 by 3. Question number 3. 10 cards number 1 to 10 are placed in a box, mixed up thoroughly, and one card is drawn randomly. So in the box there are 10 cards numbered 1 to 10 and they are thoroughly mixed. It is known that the number on the drawn card is more than 3, that is if it is known that the number drawn is more than 3, what is the probability that it is an even number? So please read the problem and understand it, understand the concept, then you can apply it. So let A be the event, the number on the card is even. That is, A be the event associated with the number on the card is even, that is 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. Okay, and B be the event, the number on the card is greater than 3. Greater than 3 means 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So we have to find probability of A given that B has occurred. That is, the card is greater than 3, we have to find out. Now the sample space of the experiment is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then event A means number on the card is even, that is 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. And B is greater than 3, that is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Therefore, A intersection B is, so you see here, what is common between A and B? 4, 6, 8, 10 are common. Therefore, probability of A is, there are 5 outcomes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 5 out of 10. S is 10. N of A is 5, S is 10. So 5 by 10. And probability of B is 7 out of 10. So you see B 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 outcomes are possible. 7 divided by 10. Therefore, probability of A intersection B is 4. 4 out of 10. Therefore, probability of A given that B has occurred is equal to probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B. That is equal to 4 by 10 divided by 7 by 10. That is equal to 4 by 7. Then question number 4. In a school, there are 1000 students, out of which 430 are girls. It is known that out of 430, 10% of the girls are in class 12. So, in the school, there are 430 girls. Out of 1000 students, comprising of both boys and girls, 430 are girls. And 10% of these girls are in class 12. That is, 43 are in class 12. What is the probability that a student chosen randomly studies in class 12 given that the chosen student is a girl? Okay, now we have to find out the probability that when we select a student, it is a girl. So let solution, let E be the event that chosen student is a student of class 2. So we are choosing a student E, event E, such that the chosen student is a girl. Chosen student is a student. It can be either a boy or a girl. E can be either a boy or a girl. And F be the event that the chosen student is girl. So F is the event that chosen student is a girl. We have to find probability of E such that F has occurred. That is, F girl is already occurred. So what is the probability of choosing a girl? So 430 are girls out of 1000. So probability of F is 430 divided by 1000, that is equal to 0.43, and it is intersecting, and probability of E intersecting F is equal to 43, that is 43 out of 1000 is a girl, that is equal to 0.043. Therefore probability of E that F is given, that is equal to probability of E intersection F divided by probability of F, that is equal to 0.043. Probability of E intersection F divided by 0.43, that is equal to 0.1. That is the answer. Now we will solve 2 marks questions with solutions. Example: a die is thrown 3 times. Events A and B are defined as below. Event A: 4 on third throw. B: 6 on first and 5 on the second throw. Find the probability of A given that B has already occurred. That is, we are required to find the probability of A, and given that B has occurred 6 on first throw and 5 on the second throw. Let us solve it. Solution: the sample has 216 outcomes. You know, a die has 6 outcomes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 outcomes. One die has got 6. Therefore, there are 3. It is thrown 3 times. Therefore, the sample space is 6 into 6 into 6. That is equal to 216 outcomes. So, these possible outcomes are given in tabular form. Now, we will we will describe A as, see, 4 on the third throw. That means we have to get number 4 on the third attempt. So, we will write all those outcomes. 1, 1, 4. So, third 1, 2, 4, 1, 6, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 2, 4, etc., etc., 2, 6, 4, 3, 1, 4, 3, 2, 4, etc., etc., 3, 6, 4, that is 4. The first 2 outcomes are separated. We have to consider only number 4 in the last third attempt. We have tabulated it as shown in the diagram. This is A. Now B is 6 on the first attempt. So first we will write down the outcomes of B. This is 6 on first attempt and 5 on the second attempt. Therefore, we can write B as 6, 5, 1, that is first is 6 and second is 5, 1, 6, 5, 2, 6, 5, 3, 6, 5, 4, 6, 5, 5 and 6, 5, 6. So these are the only possible outcomes with 6 on first attempt and first die and 5 on the second. That is given in the question. Therefore, A intersection B. Now we have to compare A with B. What are all common? So if you see here, only 6, 5, 4 is possible. 6, 5, 4 is possible. Therefore, A intersection B is 6, 5, 4. Therefore, probability of B is probability of 6 options are possible. 1, 2, 3, 6 divided by total outcomes are 260. Therefore, probability of A intersection B is 1. It is 1 by 260. Then conditional probability A that B has occurred is probability of A intersection B. A intersection B is 1 by 216 divided by probability of B, that is 6 by 60, that is equal to 1 by 6. Next question. A die is thrown twice and the sum of numbers appearing observed to be 6. What is the conditional probability that the number 4 has appeared at least once? So please understand the problem. A die is thrown twice. Therefore, the outcomes will be 6 into 6. Let E be the event number 4. We are required to find the number 4 has appeared at least once. Number 4 appears at least once. And F be the event that sum of the numbers appearing is 6. Therefore, E is given by, there are first times 4. We have to write down all possibilities. It can be first if the E is 4, 4 1, 4 2, 4 3, 4 4, 4 5, 4 6, 1 4, 2 4, 3 4, 4 4, 5 4 and 6 4. These are the events possible. That is, number 4 has appeared at least once. Therefore, F is the event. F is given by 1 5, 2 4. That is sum equal to 6. 1 plus 5 is 6. 2 plus 4 is 6. 3 plus 3 is 6. 4 plus 2 is 6. 5 plus 1 is 6. That is, the sum of number is 6. Therefore, probability of E is, here there are 11 possible, 11 divided by, because die is thrown twice, the total sample space is 36, 11 by 36. Therefore, 5 also, it is appearing 5 times here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 by 36. Therefore, also we have to find E intersection F. So, E intersection F is only one, that is 2 4, 2 4 and 4 2. See, 2 4 2 is ones and 4 2 and 2 4. 2 4 are appearing. So, E intersection F is 2 4 comma 4 2. Therefore, probability of E intersection F equals, here there are two outcomes, 2 divided by 36. That is equal to 1 by 18. Therefore, probability of P intersection F divided by P of F is equal to 2 by 36 divided by 5 by 36. That is equal to 2 by 5. Next question. Consider the experiment of tossing a coin. If the coin shows head, toss it again. But if it shows tail, then throw a die. Find the conditional probability of event that the die shows a number greater than 4. We also given that there is at least one tail. So please see the tree diagram. This is the right hand side is called tree diagram of probability. So when we throw a coin, there are two outcomes. It can be either head or tail. So if it is head, it is given head, toss it again. So again we are tossing here. This is the upper line. Toss it again. If the first attempt is tail, if it is tail, then you throw a die. Die has 6 options. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This event, when first we get tail, then we have to throw tail. Otherwise, we have to throw the coin again till we get tail. Okay. This is the tree diagram explained, and probabilities are also given here. The sample space is, see, first the sample space is tossing of a coin. First tossing of a coin is twice. That is head, 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 tail. Head, 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 and head, tail. These two. And tossing of a, this one, the second one. This is tail one, okay. Tail 1, tail 2, T2, T3, T4, T5, T6. So these are the sample space shown in the diagram and written down here. Therefore, the probabilities assigned to 8 events. There are 8 events, you see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 events are there. Therefore, the probability of head-head is 1 by 4, 1 by 4 and 1 by 4. Then this is 1 by 12, 1 by 12, 1 by 12. So these are all the 1 by 12. So the 8 outcomes here are written here from here in the statement. Let F be the event that there is at least one tail and E be the event the die shows a number greater than 4. Then F is equal to head tail T1. That is F is equal to one tail. So here there is one tail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Therefore, E is T5 and T6. E is the event for T5 and T6. Here, the last one. Therefore, probability of F is probability of all these combinations. That is equal to, you add all that 1/4, that is, it is all that 1/4, 112, 112, like this you add. The total if you add, you will get 3 by 4. Therefore, probability of E intersection F is T5 and T6. That is 1 by 12 and 1 by 12. That is equal to 1 by 6. Now, conditional probability of event E given F has occurred is given by probability of conditional probability of E of F divided by E intersection F divided by probability of F. That is equal to 2 by 9. In this section, we will study about events associated with intersection of two events E and F. In other words, E intersection F denotes the simultaneous occurrence of events E and F. The event E intersection F is also written as EF. Let us study it. We know the conditional probability of event E given F has occurred is given by the relations probability of E intersection F divided by probability of F, and probability of F is not 0. That means conditional probability of F given E has occurred is also written as probability of F intersection E divided by probability of intersection E, and probability of E is not 0. Therefore, probability of F intersection E is E intersection F divided by probability of E, since E intersection F is equal to F intersection E, because both are same. Thus, probability of E intersection F is equal to cross multiplying probability of E into probability of conditional probability of F given E has occurred. So let it be equation 2. Therefore, combining 1 and 2, we get probability of E intersection F is equal to probability of E into probability of conditional probability of F given E has occurred. Thus, conditional probability of E intersection F is equal to probability of F into conditional probability of E given that F has occurred, provided probability of E is not equal to 0 and probability of F is also not equal to 0. This result is known as multiplication rule of probability. That is, probability of E intersection F is equal to probability of F into conditional probability of E given that F has occurred. Multiplication rule of probability for more than two events. In the previous example, we have considered only two, that is events E and F. Now we will consider three conditions, three events. If E, F and G are three events of sample space, we have probability of E intersection F intersection G is equal to probability of E into conditional probability of F given E has occurred into conditional probability of G given E cross F has occurred. Please note, in this probability of G, E cross F has occurred. That can be written as probability of E into conditional probability of F given E has occurred into conditional probability of G that EF has occurred. So E cross F can be written as EF. This is written here. Similarly, multiplication rule of probability can be extended for 4 or more events. Please note and practice it. You will be able to remember it. Let us take one example of two events. Question number 8. An urn has 10 black and 5 white balls. Two balls are drawn from urn, one after other without replacement. So, the box has 10 black and 5 white balls. So, total number of balls are 5. Now, we have to find what is the probability of drawing both the balls are black. Okay, out of 15 balls. Let E and F denote respectively the first and second balls drawn are black. So E is for drawing first ball as black and F is for drawing second ball as black. Therefore, probability of E intersection F, or we have to find probability of EF is equal to what? So therefore now first we will find out the probability of E, that is drawing first ball as black. There are 15 balls. So probability of drawing black balls, there are 10 blacks. So probability is 10 divided by 50. And now we have taken out the one ball. So remaining balls are 14. And there are already one black ball has been drawn. So remaining black balls are 9. Therefore, conditional probability of drawing second ball as black given E has occurred is 9 divided by 14. Therefore, multiplication rule of probability says P, probability of E intersection F is equal to probability of E into conditional probability of F. That is equal to 10 by 15 into 9 by 14. That is equal to 3 by 7 is the answer. Now we will take more than 2. Multiplication of more than 2 events. Question number 9. 3 cards are drawn successively without replacement from pack of 52 well shuffled cards. What is the probability that first 2 cards are kings and the third card is an ace? So, we know in a pack of cards there are 52 cards. Okay, 52 cards, out of which 4 are ace, 4 are kings, 4 are queens, etc. etc. So here in this problem, we are interested in kings and ace. So 3 cards are successively drawn. So there are 3 attempts to draw cards from the pack of cards. Let us solve it. We have probability of 3 cards. That is, he has asked what is the probability of first 2 cards king. So first 2 cards are king, KK. You will note here, first 2 cards are kings. So probability of first 2 cards king, king. And the third card is ace. So A. So we have to find probability of drawing first king, second king and third ace. Now probability of king, only drawing first king is, there are 52 cards and 4 kings. So probability of king is 4 by 52. Now once we have drawn the first card, the remaining kings are 3 and the remaining total number of cards is 51. Therefore, probability of the second card, king, that first card drawn is already king. So that is conditional probability of drawing king, that already one king has been drawn, is 3 by 51. Because one king has already been drawn and one card also has been drawn. So it is the remaining cards are 3 by 51. Therefore, now the third attempt is for drawing A, that is ace, that is third card as ace. So probability, conditional probability of drawing the third card as A, given that the first 2 cards are king and king, is condition that 2 kings are, now there are left is, so one card is taken out, one king is taken out. Now we have taken out one king. So it is the total number of cards remaining are 50 now, because 2 cards have already been taken out. Therefore probability, but all the 4 A's are remaining. So probability of drawing A is 4 out of 52. 50 cards, sorry, 50. That is conditional probability of A, given that 2 kings have already been drawn, equals 4 out of 50. By multiplication rule, we have probability of king king A, KKA is equal to P of K into P of K by conditional probability of K given K, and into probability of A given that KK has already been drawn. Therefore, it is 4 by 52, this 4 by 52 into 3 by 51 into 4 by 50. That is equal to 2 divided by 5525. That is the answer. Now we will take next question. Independent events. Consider event E and F denote the events. The card drawn is a spade and the card drawn is ace respectively out of 52 cards. So therefore probability E is a spade. There are 13 spades cards. So 13 spade, 13 heart, 13 diamond and 13 flower. So probability of drawing spade is, there are 13 spade cards in a pack of 52. 13 by 52, that is equal to 1 by 4. And probability of drawing the card as ace, there are 4 ace. Therefore, out of 52, probability of F is 4 by 52. That is equal to 1 by 30. Therefore, also E and F is the event of the card drawn is spade. Now we have to find card drawn is ace of spade. So first was spade and second was ace. So we have to find the card drawn is ace of spade. So that is E intersection F is equal to 1 by 52. Probability of E intersection F is 1 by 52. Hence, conditional probability of E given F has occurred is, by definition we know, probability of E intersection F divided by probability of F, that is equal to E intersection F is 1 by 52 divided by 1 by 30, that is equal to 1 by 4. Now since probability of E is 1 by 4 here, and that is also equal to probability of conditional probability of E that F has occurred, we can say that occurrence of event F has not affected the probability of occurrence of event E. We also have conditional probability of F given E has occurred equals probability of E intersection F divided by probability of E. That is also equal to 1 by 52 divided by probability of E is 1 by 4. Therefore, that is equal to 1 by 30. That is equal to probability of F. Hence, again, probability of F is equal to 113. That is equal to conditional probability of E. Given F has occurred. I will read again. Again, probability of F is equal to 1 by 13 equals probability of F given E has occurred. We can say that occurrence of event F has not affected the probability of occurrence of F. Thus, E and F are two events such that the probability of occurrence of one of them has not affected the occurrence of the other. Such events are called independent events. Definition 2. Two events E and F are said to be independent if conditional probability of F given E has occurred is equal to probability of F provided E is not 0. Conditional probability of E given F has occurred is equal to probability of E provided P of F is not 0. Thus, in this definition, we need to have P should not be P of E should not be 0. P of F should not be 0. Therefore, multiplication rule says probability of E cross F equals probability of E into conditional probability of F given E has occurred. Let it be equation 1. If E and F are independent, then equation 1 becomes P of E intersection F equals P of E into P of F conditional probability of F given E has occurred. Definition number 3. Two events E and F are said to be independent if P of E intersection F is equal to P of E into P of F. Now we will take one example. A die is thrown. If E is the event, the number appearing is multiple of 3, and F be the event, the number appearing is E1. Find whether E and F are independent. So here, please understand the question. A die is thrown. So its outcome is 6. If E is the event, number appearing is a multiple of 3. So E is associated to multiple of 3. Multiple of 3 is 1 into 3 and 2 into 3, 6. So 2 are there. And F be the event, the number appearing even. That is, even numbers are 2, 4 and 6. Find whether E and F are independent. We have to find whether E and F are independent. So sample species of a die, there are 6 outcomes. S is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Therefore, E is equal to, so the multiple of 3 is 1 into 3 and 2 into 3, 6. So E is 3 and 6. F is equal to E1, that is 2, 4 and 6. E intersection F is only 6. So all the three we have found. Now we will find the probability of each. Probability of E is 2 by 6, that is equal to 1 by 3. Probability of F is 3 by 6, equal to half. Probability of E intersection is 1 by 6. Therefore, P intersection F is equal to, from the definition we know, independent. P in E into PF. Hence, you find here P intersection is 1 by 6, P into E is 1 by 3, P of F is 1 by 2. So, if you multiply PE, that is 1 by 3 into 1 by 2, we get 1 by 6. Hence, the events are independent events. Next question. An unbiased die is thrown twice. Let event A be odd number on the first throw and B be the event, that is odd number on the second throw. Check the independence of the events A and B. Okay. So an unbiased die is thrown twice. So when we throw a die once, the outcomes are 6. When you throw twice, it will be 6 into 6, that is 36. Solution. P of A, event A, that is the number is odd. So odd is, it is 3 numbers, 3 by 6 numbers. In a combination of 1 to 6 are odd numbers are 1, 3 and 5. So 3 divided by 6, that is equal to half. So that is on the second throw, the odd number on the second throw is once again, probability of B is 3 by 6, that is equal to 1 by 2. So A intersection B is odd number on both the throws, that is equal to, that is first 9 by 36, that is 3 by 6 into 3 by 6, that is equal to 9 by 6, that is equal to 1 by 4. Therefore, probability of A into probability of B equals half into half, that is equal to 1 by 4. Therefore, P intersection B is equal to P A times P of B. So, P of A is 1 by 2. Hence, A and B are independent. So, by we have proved that A and B are independent because P of A cross B is equal to P of B. That is the condition. If this condition is satisfied, then A and B are independent events. Next example. 3 coins are tossed simultaneously. Here coins. Coins means 2. One coin gives 2 outcomes. 3 coins means there will be 2 into 2 into 2. 8. Consider the event 3 heads on 3 or 3 tails. F at least 2 heads, event E, that is 3 heads or 3 tails, F is 2 heads and G is at the most 2 heads, that is 2 heads, maximum 2 heads, that is minimum 2 heads of the pairs EF, EG and FG which are independent. So we have to find this. This will be a 3 marks question or maybe even 5 mark question. Now let us solve it. Please observe very carefully. The total combinations are 3 coins. So the first comes HHH, HHT, HTH, THH, HTT, THT, TTT, H, R, TTT, where T is a tail and H is a head. Therefore, even three heads means H, 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 three tails means T, T, T. Therefore, F is two heads, at the most two heads, that is minimum of two heads. F is HHH, HHT, HTH and THH. Therefore, G is at the most two heads. Therefore, two heads at the most, that is a maximum two heads. HHT, HTH, THH, HTT, THT, TTH and TTT. Therefore, E cross F is HHH, E cross G is TTT, F cross G is HHT, HTH and THH. Therefore, probability of E is 2 by 8 because sample space is 8 and E outcome is 2. 2 by 8, that is 1/4. Probability of F is 4 by 8 and probability of G is 7 by 8. And now we will find the probability of their intersections. Probability of E intersection F is 1 by 8. Probability of E intersection G is 1 by 8. And probability of F intersection G is 3 by 8. Therefore, probability of E into F is 1 by 4 into 1 by 2, that is equal to 1 by 8, comma, probability of E into probability of G equals 1 by 4 into 3 by 7 by 8, that is equal to 7 by 32. Therefore, probability of F into probability of G is 1 by 2 into 7 by 8, that is equal to 7 by 16. So now we have proved probability of E intersection F is equal to probability of E into F. See, E intersection is 8, probability of E into 8 is 1 by 8 are independent. So these it has not affected. Whereas probability of E intersection G is here is equal to 1 by 8 is not equal to probability of E into probability of G. That is different. 1 by 4 into 7 by 8, which is not equal to probability of E into G. Therefore, probability of F into G, F intersection G is not equal to probability of E into probability of S. Hence, events F and G are dependent because it is not equal to their respective multiplication of their probabilities. Independent events worked example. So prove that if E and F are independent events, then so are the events E and F dash. Since E and F are independent, please see the diagram. This circle is event E and the second circle is F, event F. Where they are intersecting, this white colored is E intersection F. So with outside this is E intersection F dash. F dash, this is F dash. and this is E intersection F dash. And outside all this is E dash intersection F dash. So both E dash and F dash are outside. This is S is a sample space. The total square inside is a sample square. So please understand this diagram and go through it very carefully. P of probability P of E intersection F is equal to P of E into P of F. We know that from independent events. Therefore, from Venn diagram, E dash F, E dash F, E dash intersection F and E intersection F dash are mutually exclusive events. And E is equal to E intersection F union E of F dash. So that this is the one. Therefore, probability of E is equal to probability of combining this. Probability of E is equal to probability of A in E intersection F plus probability of E intersection F dash. Therefore, probability of A E intersection F dash is equal to probability of E minus probability of E intersection F. That is probability of E minus probability of E into probability of F. That is expanding this by 1. This is 1. Therefore, taking PE common, it becomes 1 minus probability of F. Simplifying. Therefore, 1 minus P of probability of F is PF dash. Probability of F dash. This is F dash. Therefore, hence E and F dash are independent. Note, in a similar manner, it can be shown that if the events E and F are independent, then E dash and F are independent, E dash and F dash are independent. Next question. If A and B are two independent events, then the probability of occurrence of at least one of A and B is given by 1 minus PA dash into PB dash. We have probability of at least one A and B is equal to P of A union B. That is equal to P now from the A union B expansion formula, probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. From the Venn diagram also we can make out that. Therefore, PA plus PB minus P of A into P of B. Therefore, P of A in plus P of B we take common 1 minus P of A. Therefore, PA plus PB into 1 minus PA is PA dash. Therefore, if we take 1 minus PA dash as common, plus it becomes 1 minus PA dash, 1 minus PA dash plus PB into PA dash. Because PA is nothing but 1 minus PA dash. Previous step we had taken PA dash as 1 minus PA, and here we have taken PA as PA dash. 1 minus PA dash plus PB into PA dash. Here we have substituted. Therefore 1 minus PA dash we take common. This becomes 1. This whole second two terms become 1 minus, because we have taken minus outside, minus this is PB. PA dash we have taken common. We have taken PA dash 1 minus PA dash has taken common. This is 1 minus PB. Therefore 1 minus PA dash into 1 minus PB is PB dash. Now theorem of total probability. Let E1, E2 and E3 up to En be mutually exclusive and exhaustive events of a sample space S. Suppose that each event E1, E2 up to En has non-zero probability of occurrence. Let A be the event associated with the sample space. Then P of A is equal to P of E1 into conditional probability of A given that E1 has occurred plus probability of E2 into conditional probability of A that E2 has occurred plus etc. up to probability of En given condition, the probability of En into conditional probability of A given En has occurred. That is, simplifying, expressing in another form, probability of A is equal to sigma I is equal to 1 up to I is equal to n into probability of EI into conditional probability of A given EI has occurred. This is the theorem. Proof. Given E1, E2, E3, etc. up to En is a partition of sample space. See, this is the whole box, rectangular box is a sample space S. You can write outside as S. Okay, S is equal to E1 union E2 union etc. up to En, because all are contained in the sample space S. Therefore, add E1 intersection Ej equal to 5 null vector. I is not equal to j and I comma j equals 1, 2, comma etc. up to n. So the range of I and j are given. So now A is equal to A intersection S, because S, it is A is falling under S. Therefore that becomes A equals A intersection E1 union all other E's up to En. Therefore A equals A intersection E1 union A intersection E2 union up to A intersection En. That becomes also A of A intersection EI and A intersection EJ are respectively subsets of EI and EJ. So you see, it is a forming part of A. We know EI and EJ are disjoint, for I is not equal to J. It is given I is not equal to J. Therefore, A intersection EI and A intersection EJ are also disjoint. For all I is not equal to J, I and J falling between 1, 2, 3, etc. and n. Thus, probability of A equals, coming back to this probability of this equation, probability of A intersection E1 union A intersection E2 union etc. union A intersection En. Therefore, probability of A is equal to probability of separating probabilities. P of A intersection E1 plus P intersection A P probability of A intersection E2 etc. to probability of A intersection En. Now by multiplication rule of probability we have probability of A intersection EI is equal to probability of EI into conditional probability of A. As probability of EI is not equal to 0, belonging to EI is belonging to 1 to n. Therefore, PA is equal to, this PA is equal to P of EI, that is substituting for this we get P of EI into conditional probability of A plus P of E2 into conditional probability of E, probability of A given E2 has occurred plus etc. into probability of En into conditional probability of A belonging to En. Therefore, summation we get PA is equal to sigma I is equal to 1 to n P of EI into P of A of conditional probability of A into EI. Theorem of total probability. Let us take one word example. A person has undertaken a construction job. The probabilities are 0.65 that there will be strike, 0.8 that the construction job will be completed on time if there is no strike, and 0.32 that the job will be completed on time if there is a strike. Determine the probability that construction job will be completed. You know, this is a construction problem where there are chances of some strike. If the strike happens, the probability of completing the job gets reduced. Hence, the given data is, please study the given question once again and let us solve it. Solution. Let A be the event that construction job will be completed on time, and B be the event that there will be a strike. We have to find probability of A. That is the probability that job will be constructed, probability that the job will be completed on time. So PB is the condition. PB is the condition when there is a strike. Hence, PB is equal to 0.65. That is the probability that a strike will happen is 0.65. And PB is, no strike is 1 minus PB. Therefore, there is 0.35 probability that there will be no strike. That is PB dash is 1 minus PB is equal to 1 minus 0.65. That is equal to 0.35. Therefore, conditional probability that A conditional probability of A given B has already occurred is 0.32. So therefore, P of A into B dash is 0.8. It is given. So the job will be completed if P of A B dash is equal to 0.32. conditional probability of A, B dash. Thus B dash is no strike is 0.8 given. With strike, completion of job with strike is 0.32. Condition of completion of job with strike without strike is 0.8. Since events B and B dash form a partition of the same space, therefore, by theorem of total probability, we have PA is equal to PB into P conditional probability of A of B plus PB dash into conditional probability of A given B dash. So that will be equal to 0.65, that is 0.65 into 0.32 plus 0.35 PB dash into 0.8. That is equal to 0.208 plus 0.28. That is equal to probability of completing the job is 0.488. Thus, the probability of the construction job will be completed time is 0.488. Bayes theorem. If event E1, E2 and E3 are pairwise disjoint, E1 union E2 union etc. up to En equals sample space, and A is event of non-zero probability, then conditional probability of EI given A has occurred is given by relation equals probability of EI into probability conditional probability of A given EI has occurred divided by sigma J equals 1 to N into probability of EJ into conditional probability of A given EJ has occurred. For any I is equal to 1, 2, 3, etc. up to N. By formula, conditional probability of EI is probability of EI, conditional probability of EI given A has occurred is probability of A intersection EI divided by PI. This is the conditional probability. Now, that is, we can write it as probability of EI into probability of conditional probability A into EI divided by probability of A. This is by applying the multiplication rule of probability. Multiplication rule of probability. So that can be written as probability of EI into probability of A, conditional probability of A given EI has occurred divided by sigma J equals 1 to N of P of probability of EJ into probability of A, conditional probability of A given EJ has occurred. This is by result of theorem of total probability. This equation is a result of theorem of total probability. If n is equal to 2, then putting I is equal to 1, 2, etc. and n is equal to 2 in the formula of Bayes theorem, we have probability of E1, conditional probability E1 given A has occurred is P of E1 into P of A in conditional probability of A given E1 has occurred divided by probability of E1 divided by probability of A into E1 plus probability of E2 into probability of A into E2. So this is the explanation. I is 1 here. In the numerator, I is 1. In the denominator, j is 2. That you have to see. Let us solve a problem. Question number 16. Bag 1 contains 3 red and bag 4 balls, while bag 2 contains 5 red balls and 6 black balls. So bag 1 has 7 balls and bag 2 has 11 balls. One ball is drawn at random from one of the bags and it is found to be red. Find the probability that it was drawn from bag 2. Let even be the event of choosing the bag 1. Okay, and E2 be the event choosing the bag 2. And A be the event of drawing the red ball. So probability of E1 is bag 1 is equal to 1 by 2. Probability of E2 equals to 1 by 2. Therefore, conditional probability of A given E1 has occurred equals probability of drawing the red ball from bag 1 is equal to, there are 3 red balls and 3 by 7. Conditional probability of A given E2 has occurred, that is the red ball from the drawing a red ball from the bag 2 is equal to 5 by 11. Now the probability of drawing a ball from bag 2 being given that it is red is probability of conditional probability of E2 of A1. Therefore, by using Bayes' theorem, we have conditional probability of E2 given A has occurred is probability of E2 into conditional probability of A that E2 has occurred divided by probability of E1 into conditional probability of A that E1 has occurred plus probability of E2 into conditional probability of A given E2 has occurred. That is equal to, let us substitute the values. P of E2 is 5 by 11. Sorry, P of E2 is 1 by 2 into conditional probability of P of A, E2 has occurred is 5 by 11 into P of E1 is 1 by 2 into conditional probability of A that E1 has occurred is 3 by 7 plus P of E2. P of E2 is half into 5 by 11. That is equal to 35 by 68. We have also given some word example. I will not go through. You can go to the link described in the mentioned in the description portion, and where we have worked all examples of the previous classes. This only for your reference we have given. If you want, you can go through it. These I am not explaining because already these are explained in the previous. Some model questions are also given. Probability of sure event is 1. Probability of the die is rolled once or getting a natural number greater than 6 is 0. Like that, we have given so many model type of questions, 1 mark. You please go through all these examples. We have given some 7 to 8 examples. 7 examples are given. I am just showing it, and for getting details explanation, you can refer back to the other uh, video on this subject, which is given in the description part of this video.